Hello, this is Brian from MB Media again, and today we're going to do a tutorial about a little more advanced features of the Rich Editor. So in previous tutorials, I showed you how to use the Rich Editor to edit things like the store hours with bold tags, with strong tags on here, so that it was more than just simple text editing. But I also want to show you that it actually can go a little more complex than that. And so what we're going to edit today is this entire portion right here. The store hours with this link for directions, which has a class on it, which turns it into a nice pretty button. And this is the sort of stuff you might normally accomplish in WordPress with shortcodes or something like that. But we're going to plug some stuff into the Rich Editor, which will have it just do it with a little drop-down menu where they can apply styles and turn them on and off at will. So I've already got the CMS mostly set up since we've been over that quite a few times already. I just wanted to leave this here to show you what we were editing. So I'm going to cut this out, put it in the text file, save that, and insert our little snippet, PHP, just like we've done in the past. And where I've got this set up is at a little file called edit/home text. Save that. So what we've got now is we've already got in the website root, we've got this edit folder, and we've got our home text, and we've got our instance of the CMS already set up. Now the part that's different from normal setup, or rather that's additional from normal setup to add this ability, is that we've got these little variables down here called classes for Wim Editor and styles for Wim Editor. Now what this is you can add, and they've got examples right here in the comments of how to do it, you can add styles that the user can apply to elements within the Wim Editor. So right here, I'm going to add a style called, we'll go open up our home text. It was called wide dash button is the name of the style that we were using. So name wide button, title, this is the title that they'll see in the drop down box. I'm just going to name it wide button, but in a more English readable fashion. And here you have a little expression for what that style is allowed to be applied to. Now you could just put a little star and allow it to apply to anything, or in this case, it's meant to be applied to links to make them into buttons. So I'm going to put A, and that's what it. And it's an expression that would run in jQuery. So you could put A, comma, span, or whatever. But for these purposes, it's just going to be a simple A. Now, right now, that would be able to be edited to be used in the editor. So if we go to the editor and refresh, what we've got is these classes. We could turn that on and off right in here. However, you want to do a little bit more because you want them to, those changes to reflect in the editor so that they know what they're turning on and off. Have a little visual representation of it. So down here, we've got styles for Wim Editor. And these styles only affect what you see in the editor. They don't affect the site in any way. So their only purpose is to show what's going on. In this case, we're going to add a style for that wide button class. So name dot wide button, and we're going to add a little CSS to make it visually look sort of like the button that we've been dealing with. So I'm going to give it a border, 1 pixel, solid, and then I'm going to give the color of that, and I'm going to make it display block so that it fills the whole width. I'm going to give it a little padding, let's say 10 pixels, and then I'll give it a background too of a sort of light background. Now, as we do this, this should reflect in the editor. So now we've got a little button here, and actually to make it even more realistic like the other, I'm going to do text align center here too. So now we've got something that looks a lot like the button here, and we can click that on and off. We could create another instance of it. I'm going to go down and say other link and make that a link, whatever URL, doesn't matter, and turn that into the same button as well. And I could, hold on, I gotta remember what I put in the username and password. Just user pass like I did before. User pass. Save those changes. And over in the Cedar gift shop, we've got those changes reflected. So they can do some real rich text editing things. And if you think about this for a second, you realize all these classes you could add, all these styles you could add. You could turn this into a super rich and super easy to use editor that can do a lot of things. So keep that in mind as you're thinking through what you are capable of doing with this editor, and also keep in mind that it also is modular. Each instance of this editor is its own little instance of a file. And so you could define completely separate classes that they're allowed to use on one page or one bit of text versus another. And that makes it easier for you to control the user's experience so that it keeps it simple for them to use. Only include the classes on the page where they're intended to use and nowhere else, or on the one bit of text where they're intended to use and nowhere else, or include all of them everywhere. That's up to you as the designer and the developer. So thanks for watching, and I'm sure there'll be more tutorials soon in the future, and I hope you watch those videos too.